the show's creator was like on Twitter talking about how he hasn't written season 6 yet, but he plans on it. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I would say it was better than season 4. So I don't know, but that's just Cobra Kai. It kind of amazes me how long they continue to stretch it out, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I mean, it continues to be good. So
yeah, like, I mean, there's not like, I can't say there's an episode that I've really hated of the show, but like a lot of it's starting to feel very samey.
Yeah, and I think that they do a good job of getting away from that in season 5.
That's good.
All right, so Nintendo Direct. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
First of all, the rumors were true.
Yep.
And
that was actually like, that was huge for me this morning, because as soon as I saw that, as I was scrolling through Twitter, I was like, shit, this is right.
If the rumors were true, then the other rumors are probably
true. Yep.
Right. And that's super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know, do you watch Spawnwave on YouTube?
I do. I remember I was watching this thing this morning, and he was like, yeah, probably a couple hours after I put this up, as always, it's gonna go up. And I'm like, yeah, that's
well. And he even said this morning, he was like, gee, it's almost like I would say that, you know, when I predicted the 12th, like last week, I would say that was a pretty good prediction. And so here's the thing about Spawnwave. He knows. He has someone who knows.
Oh, yeah.
He has someone who leaks, and he talks to him. And because there's on the Nintendo podcast with Beat 'em Ups and Wolf Den, they were talking about how like he will like drop hints on them. And so one time they were talking about like they were all, you know, kind of just shooting the shit and predicting, you know, when is the next direct going to be. And Wood from Beat 'em Up said, oh, I think it's going to be next Thursday. And John from Spawnwave was just like, oh, next Tuesday? I think that's a good guess. And he was like, no, Thursday. And John was like, yeah, Tuesday. That's a solid guess. And like, and then there was a direct on Tuesday. And it's like, man, that dude, if you aren't like anyone who is not subscribed to him, go check out Spawnwave on YouTube. Not that he needs our help, but holy shit, that dude knows what he's talking about. I like from now on, anything he tells me about Nintendo, that is gospel.
Yeah, it's getting pretty impressive how accurate he's being able to get. So yeah, he definitely has someone on the inside.
So
but yeah,
that being said, what he says is gospel. He talked about a lot of things. What are you most excited for?
Personally, it's got Prime 1 remastered. That's like the big thing that I'm waiting on.
So did he specify if it's going to be Prime 1 remastered or Prime 1 remake?
I want to say, I don't know, remastered, remake. Those words are so fucking interchangeable these days, you won't know until we actually see the damn content. But
it's because people use them incorrectly.
Yeah, exactly, which is the problem.
Yeah, it's so annoying. But I mean, Metroid Prime, like full disclosure, I've never played through Metroid Prime. And so,
now you have the chance to if it comes out tomorrow.
It's not going to be out tomorrow, but it's going to get announced for sure. Where do you think these games are going to... So there's that, and then there's the F-Zero rumor, which I'm sure that you're like thrilled about.
I'm thrilled about it, but that's the one that I'm the most wary of.
Okay.
Just because it's F-Zero, we haven't seen it for damn near 20 years.
Yeah. Well, and it's a remake of GX, right?
Yeah, it's supposedly what it is. And, I mean, if it is, great. I'm going to be super excited, but I'm not going to hold my breath on it. Because Nintendo has disappointed me before when I've tried that.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair assessment, I feel like, because another one that's been like heavily rumored, and I cannot believe that I'm letting myself believe it again, is the Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD port to Switch. Now,
So
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, like, the rumor is that it's going to be a combo pack. And honestly, I thought there is no chance that those two will be bundled. Like, zero chance.
So on that front, I've heard similarly that it's going to be comboed, but because it's going to be comboed, I've heard it's going to be more expensive. I've heard it's going to be an upwards of $70 game, which we really haven't seen on Switch yet.
Yeah, I guess we haven't. And how does that make you feel? Like, how do you feel about that? A $70 game on Switch?
So I don't have a problem with them raising the prices to $70. Like, at this point with the current market, it makes sense. What I'm not okay with is paying for 2 ports comboed together of remasters of games that were made 15 years ago. I like my biggest problem with like these remakes and remasters, like, yeah, but I've played them before. I don't want to pay full $60-$70 for them anymore. I want to pay like, $40.
Yeah. I get
re-releasing
that,
it.
But like, if it's a combo pack, then it's like $35 each if they hit 70.
Yeah.
And honestly, at that price, like, I feel like I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of a sucker because I love Twilight Princess. It's like,
it's my favorite one.
I think it's my second favorite one. And so, like, I would pay 60 for both. Like, I would pay 60 for each one individually. And
I wouldn't do that. God, no, not again. I have to be kind of a penny pincher these days. So $60 per would be ridiculous.
It would be a big ask, but I think that just based on what we know about Nintendo, I would bet that Nintendo is, they are those they definitely
they like money.
Yeah, exactly. Like the shit they pulled with Mario 3D All-Stars.
Yeah.
When was that last year?
I think so, yeah.
No way. That was 2020. That had to have been 2020.
Was it?
There's no way they stopped selling Mario 3D All-Stars this year. Because they sold it from like September to like March.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was 2020.
Okay.
September 18th, 2020.
Thank God.
Dude, COVID just makes all the years blend together. I don't know what to tell you at this point.
I know. And so, like, you look at shit like that and the way that they like created this artificial fear of scarcity, like that's bullshit. And if it's the same company, I'm going to expect that they will release those games for $60 each. But I don't know. I guess I've just reserved myself to, like, a combo is not going to happen.
Yeah, at this point, I fully expect it to happen.
I would love it if it did.
I mean,
I'm so happy.
Super Mario 3D All-Stars gave me hope that they're like, yeah, we can actually do these combo packs, but price-wise and how long it'll actually be available is a different story.
Yeah, that's true. The combo, like, maybe that's how they like counterbalance the combo packs, is they just make it a limited time thing so that they sell a fuck ton of them.
Yeah, it's like gotta prey on a FOMO.
Yeah, damn. So I mean, I'm pretty pumped. I don't know. This is something, basically, I have been waiting for this since late 2017, when it was clear that they were just porting a bunch of shit from the Wii U to Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, well, the obvious ports are Twilight Princess and Wind Waker.
Like, realistically, they're the only two that haven't been ported.
They're the only two that
get
still
a port.
Need to. Yeah, still need to be ported. Yeah. That should be. I don't know. I would go for a Devil's Third port.
Never played it.
Yeah, don't. It's terrible.
Never heard of it till you just mentioned it. So yeah,
It's like god awful. But honestly, if they ported that, I would be pretty stoked. I would buy that.
yeah.
But yeah, it like realistically, they're like the two left that haven't been ported. And I'm like late 2017, early 2018, I started expecting it, and then every time they would they would announce a direct, I'd be like, okay, for sure it's going to be this time, right? And then
Of course.
yeah, right. And like there were always the rumors. I mean, I'm sure that you're aware, you follow the Nintendo news. There are rumors of like, okay, Twilight Princess HD, Wind Waker HD, it's happening this direct. And it like for a while there in like 2018, 2019, it was every single direct.
It's been every single direct since. Like,
yeah,
I that's another reason I'm so wary about it, because it's like, all right, you've been telling us this, leaking this for the same.
I know it's
5 years
it's been
now.
reported for the same, like it's been the same rumor for 5 years, and it never happens. And like at some point, we are Charlie Brown, and they are Lucy pulling the football away.
The one thing that gives me hope this year is that they're like going into holiday lineup is not very strong aside from Pokemon.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you, like, where do you think that these slot in? Let's assume that all four happen, and let's assume that let's assume best case scenario. Okay, F-Zero GX remake, it's happening. Metroid Prime 1 remake, it's happening. Zelda combo pack, it's happening. Let's assume those things. Where do they slot in? Because Splatoon 3, did that one just come out, or is that?
It just came out Friday. It just came out this past Friday.
And so like that's their September game.
Yep.
And then they've got Pokemon, which is going to be huge. Like Pokemon's going to be monumental. That's November.
Yeah, November 18th.
Where do you put these games?
So I'm thinking either Metroid Prime or F-Zero going to be the October game. The re-release, probably F-Zero if I had to guess. Because even if it's like a big deal that it's like the first game in a long time, it's still F-Zero. It's going to sell to those who love it, but I don't think it's going to reach that wider audience. So it makes sense for that to go in between both Splatoon and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet as their bigger releases this.
Yeah.
So
I'm on board with you on that. I see your logic, and I actually agree with your logic. I think it's good. But I don't agree with you. I think that.
How dare you not agree with me? This is the internet.
I know. We're like, burn him, canceled. No, so I don't agree with you. I think October is going to be Zelda because it's just a port. It's just two ports from the Wii U. It's like, so it doesn't have that notoriety. Like it kind of plays on that same level that you were saying F-Zero does, of like, this is not a giant flagship. Like, this is what we're going to lead our holiday push with. It's, hey, here are some ports from Wii U. And then also, Zelda is a more recognizable name. So when parents are doing Christmas shopping, boom, Zelda.
Yeah.
And
that's fair.
You have to get it far enough away from Breath of the Wild 2, which hopefully is next spring.
Yeah, that makes sense. I get where you're coming from.
So, okay, so you said F-Zero is October, and I said Zelda is October. What about Metroid Prime?
I think it's going to be January, February, somewhere in that area. Like, okay. I feel like we're gonna like get the trailer and be like, yeah, launching da 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 da. It's gonna be their like little holdover after the holidays before Breath of the Wild, and maybe we'll finally get some like Metroid Prime 4 news or something, like a small trailer or something.
Right. That's, I mean, Metroid Prime, like Prime 4 news has to happen with Prime Remake.
Yep.
I think I think that you're right about it has to be next year. There's no way that Prime Remake is going to happen this year.
Unless they shadow drop it like, yeah, it's ready for today. I don't see it
Right.
being until next year.
I definitely agree. Like unless they do, and it's out now, but even then they would be cannibalizing Splatoon 3 sales, and I don't think they're going to do that.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
So I'm going to say post Breath of the Wild 2 pre E3, maybe a week before E3.
Okay, so like May, April-ish, May, June-ish.
Like very end of May. And then E3, Prime 4.
Okay.
And like once they hit E3, because I think that Prime 4 is has been such a disaster that they are just super hesitant. I think that they're just worried, and they're not going to show us Prime 4 until I think they're going to do like the Fallout 4 thing, right? Where it's like, hey, here it is. It's out in 5 months. And so next year could be Breath of the Wild 2, Prime 1 Remake, Prime 4 news, Prime 4 in like November.
That'd be pretty hype.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a killer year, and like not uncharacteristic for the Switch. Like the Switch has had, that's kind of been a hey, stupid cat is getting into shit.
As cats do.
Oh god, dude, I can't stand cats. Switch it's kind of been like their MO that they are, it's kind of been their MO to have like a really big 1-2 punch every year. Or not every year, but like most years, right? The first year it was Zelda and Mario. The second year it was, what was it that second year?
I'll be honest, I'm having trouble remembering.
Yeah, like 2018 Switch games. Let's look it up. This is, we're just doing it, fuck it, we'll do it live. Oh, yeah. That year was
Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Smash Ultimate and something else. There was
Pokemon
a big
Let's
one.
Go.
Yep,
was another
Pokemon
big
Let's
one.
Go and Smash Ultimate. And then 2019, I think they did the like big 1-2 punch for like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, I mean, for 2019 it was Sword and Shield, and then
and then
either Luigi's Mansion or Link's Awakening. There are like quite a few smaller ones, but I think
also,
Pokemon Sword and Shield was the big one.
Also, Mario Maker 2.
Yep.
2020 was Animal Crossing.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, like Mario 3D All Stars, I guess. But yeah, I mean, like it's not out of character for Switch to have those, that like a huge 1-2 punch. And I would love to see it. I would love to see next year be Breath of the Wild 2, Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
Would be a really good way to send the system off.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. We're getting towards the end of the life of the Switch.
I'm starting to shocked that it's still going.
It's starting to get to the point where it can't keep up. I mean, my buddy just played through all of Xenoblade 3, and he said it works fine in docked mode, but put it in handheld and it chugs like real bad.
Oh, really?
And that game just came out this year. Like
that game came out like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I am shocked that the Switch has made it this far.
Yep.
And I don't expect it to continue.
Yeah. I think we get maybe a year and a half out of it now at most.
Yeah, I feel like, oh, you know what? Maybe Prime 4 won't be next year. Maybe Prime 4 will be like March of 24?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be Yeah, they might do this. They might do Breath of the Wild 2, Prime 4 news at E3, Prime 1 remake, and then Prime 4 news at E3 plus also like no, Prime 1 remake, and then like October announce the new Switch, and then, I don't know, March drop the new Switch with Prime 4 as a cross-generational game.
Yeah, I could see that, but I could also see Breath of the Wild 2 being pushed back even more for that cross-generational thing happening next.
I don't know if Breath of the Wild 2 will be a cross-generational, but I totally agree that like we keep saying Breath of the Wild 2 spring 23, but like that's pretty presumptuous of us. I think.
I'm honestly hoping that we get a definitive date at tomorrow's direct. Like, I hope we see like a few minutes on it, and they're like, "Yep," because because in the tweet it mentions it's going to be fairly 40 minutes of information, mostly focused on Switch games launching this winter. It's launching this winter. Like I just want to see a release date. If it's like a minute trailer, sure, great. Just give me the date.
Even if it's a 1-minute trailer with a date, that's good enough.
Yep. I just need to know at this point. Because if we don't see anything at this direct, I see no way that it's not coming out before like June, July at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's September. They'll probably do a direct in like January. Yeah, I mean, if they don't hit this direct with something, if it's just gone, then I bet Breath of the Wild 2 gets pushed into fall of 2023. God, that breaks my heart. What do you think are the odds? Like, what are the odds that we that we see them?
That we see Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say it's 50-50. It's either we're going to get it and we're going to get a release date, and that's going to be it, or we're not going to see it, and then it's just like, all right, assume it's being pushed back. Like, it could go, honestly, either way, with how many times that they've pushed this back and said that they want to make the game as great as possible. But they're running out of time for the Switch.
So. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I agree with you on that. God, that's just heartbreaking. I don't want that to happen.
I don't either, but
so a hypothetical. Let's have a little bit of a dream fun. Tomorrow is supposedly gonna be GameCube, right? It's all about GameCube. If there is a GameCube game, is there a GameCube game that we haven't heard rumors about that you would love to see like a remaster or remake of show up tomorrow? Just like a surprise announcement.
Do I even have to say it?
Is it Star Fox Adventure or Star Fox Assault?
I want both of them, buddy. Give me all of it. Give me all of it.
There's a combo pack for you.
Honestly, as a combo pack, I think that would work well.
I think so too. I think that's the only way that would work.
Yeah, I don't think that they could get away with selling Adventures again. I think that they could get away with Assault, but putting them both together would just make it worthwhile for anybody.
I don't think that. Like, how much do you think they could ask for that? Say a combo pack, the two of them.
$50.
$50, I think, is the absolute highest they could go for that.
Yep. Like maybe 40 even, but I mean,
yeah, 40 I think is a better price for that. Just because those games, like, people like them, and I mean, you love them, but like,
I mean, yeah, but like I'm like one person like who just loves Star Fox.
That's 1% of Star Fox fans. Yeah. Yeah. That would I think 40 is the most they could ask for that. Personally, I would want to see. I'm really torn if I would want to see Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 or Tony Hawk's Underground 1 and 2 remake.
Honestly, like Tony Hawk 3 and 4, like I know 1 and 2, the remaster or whatever they did for it, the remake, whatever you want to call it. I didn't play it, but I heard it was really good and it sold pretty well. So seeing a 3 and 4 drop there would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean that would like. Oh, I guess 4 did come out on. I don't know why, but I just always like. I never think that Pro Skater 4 came out on GameCube for whatever reason.
No one remembers 4.
But I'll tell you what, Pro Skater 3, that is like, it's not the best Tony Hawk game, but it is the best Pro Skater game for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good. I remember having some fun with Darth Maul. So
yeah, and I always argued with my friend Steven. Do you remember Steven Lambert at Prudential?
Yes.
Steven, what a guy. He's hilarious. But I would always argue with him. I would be like, oh, like, bro, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. And then he was like, no, Pro Skater 2. And then
at least he's well informed.
No, you gotta be kidding me. Pro Skater 3 is the best one. And then one day we made the fun chat name THPS 3 versus or THPS 4 or THPS 2. And then everyone in the chat, like Steven just gets in and sees it and laughs. And then everyone else is like, what is THPS? And Dom's in there and he's like, oh, you guys are idiots. But yeah, it was a good time. And the correct answer is absolutely 3. It has to be 3. 3 is so much better.
Man, you have a really weird way of saying 2, but
no, 2
must be the accent.
Oh man. You know what? Okay, you know what I would really like to see if they do remake. Actually, no, they already remade 2. That sucks because I would have liked to have seen the content from Pro Skater 2X. Because like Pro Skater 2X is the best way to play that game.
I don't know if I ever played 2X.
It was Pro Skater 2 in the Pro Skater 3 engine with Pro Skater 3 mechanics, and it was only on Xbox. And they did it because they were having trouble porting Pro Skater 3 to Xbox for the launch. And so it launched with Pro Skater 2X. And then Pro Skater 3 came to it like 6 months later. So
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I know. There's way too much Tony Hawk information in my brain. Okay, so that's our Nintendo Direct roundup. I think all 4 of the GameCube games that have been rumored are going to happen.
I hope they do.
I hate myself for believing it again because I stopped believing at like the end of 2018. I was just like, you know what? I get hurt every time. Here we are.
Get hurt again.
Yeah, I'm ready to get hurt again. It's gonna happen this time. It's going to happen. It has to.
And if it doesn't,
I might break my Switch.
All right. Well, at least it's the light that's going.
No, I would break my OLED.
What?
Yeah.
You're insane.
Fuck the OLED. Okay. So, we also have more predictions to make. We are going to save hot takes for next week. More predictions to make, and those predictions are just shortly before we started recording. Sony announced there will also be a PlayStation. What is it? PlayStation
State of Play.
State of Play. Thank you. I just always want to say PlayStation Direct. There will also be a PlayStation State of Play tomorrow. Now this one is way more up in the air. So like, let's just
I knew it was coming this month. I didn't know when, but I also have no idea what they're planning on showing. There haven't really been a whole lot of leaks that I've been privy to anyways.
I think that it's gonna be PSVR 2.
That makes sense.
I think that they're gonna show us the hardware. And like we've seen it, but I think they're gonna show it to us in action. I think they're gonna show us a lineup of games. I think they're going to tell us a price. And I think that they're going to have a launch window.
$499.99.
Yeah. 500. Well, Yeah. No, that's exactly right. Because now, basically everywhere else, the not in the United States, but basically everywhere else, the digital is $450 and the physical is $550.
Yep.
So yeah, it landing right in between those two, and I think that could, like, PSVR 2 could be a part of why they raised the price, because they could not get the PSVR 2 down below 500, and they couldn't, like, they had to land it between the two consoles.
Yeah, I don't feel like they could have sold it at the same price as the disc version.
Exactly. Like, hey, here's a PSVR 2. It's an accessory, but it costs just as much as the console.
And $100 more than the all digital version. So have fun.
Yeah. So $499.99. I think that's right on the money. Like, I wish I could predict something differently just to make it more fun, but I just can't. I think you're just 100% correct there.
Yeah, I'd find it ridiculous if they did anything else, unless they just come out on stage and say $199.99 and walk off, and we never see anything from them again.
No, what they did there was, I think they said
it's not the '90s anymore, so I don't think we can do that.
They said $299. Steve Race comes out, $299, just leaves.
Was it $299? It was $199.
No, it was $299 because the Sega Saturn, like, surprise dropped that week, and they had just announced $399. It's going to be in stores within a few days. Go buy it. And everyone was like, well, what the fuck? Like, we didn't know when it was. We thought it was going to be this fall, and so we don't have the money right now. And so that wound up biting them in the ass. The $399 price tag bit them in the ass. And everyone was, like, planning to budget for the fall. And then Sony came out and said, it's going to be out this fall. It's going to be $299. And Sony was, like, sitting there eagerly awaiting Sega's announcement, because Sony didn't realize how terrible the Saturn was at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, like, sitting there thinking, okay, if they say $299, it's not over, but it's going to be a tough fight. If they say anything above that, we are going to crush them. And so to be able to beat them by $100 was, like, just this monumental thing.
I don't know why, but I remember it being $299 and $199. But I also haven't looked at it in a while. So,
and you've read that book, right?
Console Wars? I have. Yeah,
what a book! I love that.
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook a while back. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah, the guy who reads the audiobook, he does such a good job.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, so I totally agree with you. $499. What games do you think what games are they going to have for us?
I mean, if it's PSVR, I mean, God, it could be anything. Probably see Half-Life Alyx shown.
You think Half-Life Alyx is going to come to PSVR?
I mean, possibly.
That would be wild. If they did that, I would buy a PSVR.
I'm just, like, trying to think of, like, VR games that are coming out, and there's not a whole lot. I mean, we'll probably get, like, maybe another Spider-Man experience because it's Sony.
Oh yeah, I think they'll lean pretty heavily on Resident Evil 8.
Yep, RE8 will. That definitely seems like a huge thing that they could do.
I mean, RE7 PSVR was the only place you could play it in VR, and it was, like, kind of one of their flagships for a long time. I think that they're just going to play the hits, right? It's going to be, RE8, potentially, is Moss 2 out yet? Moss 2 maybe. It's whatever is next for Astrobot. A
new Astro's, like, Playroom VR 2 or whatever you want, whatever it was called. Yeah,
and then obviously the Horizon thing. They got to talk about that because that's already announced. Yep. And, like, if I'm thinking they're really gonna bring the heat, like, maybe Iron Man VR 2.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, and they also have a sequel to Firewall coming out, which is, like, crazy because I didn't know Firewall sold very well.
It did? I had no idea.
Well enough to merit a sequel.
Oh, good.
Yeah. It was surprising, but yeah. So
Where is my? I can't believe I'm asking this. Where is my God of War wood chopping simulator?
oh Jesus, on PSVR 2, that would be so annoying if they made that. God, don't even utter that into the universe. Don't make that a thing.
It'll be the next
God
Link's
damn.
crossbow training. It'll be great. You'll love it, and you'll buy
Except
it.
it won't be good like Link's crossbow training was. Link's crossbow training was sick. But speaking of God of War, I think that we will have God of War information too.
Yep. Yeah, I absolutely expect to see it. I'd be shocked if we didn't.
We have seen like very, very little of that game. And I'm wondering if it's like something to do with spoilers, if there's like a character that's going to be playable or a weapon. And I mean, like, obviously we are going to wield Mjolnir, right?
I mean, one would hope.
Mjolnir is like the statue in this like ultra special edition.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that we are not, especially with the way that they revealed the Blades of Chaos in God of War 2018. Like, there is no way that we're not picking up Mjolnir in Ragnarok.
I mean, isn't Thor supposed to be like the big baddie of this one?
I think Thor is going to be the big baddie of like the first act. And then I think it's Freya and Odin.
Okay.
And so I think Kratos, like the first 6 hours of the game is going to be tracking down, fighting and killing Thor, taking Mjolnir, and then fighting Odin and Freya.
Yeah, I'll be intrigued to see more.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds like awesome. I'd love to be able to throw Mjolnir around.
Yeah, I mean, like, and think about like Mjolnir returns to its return to sender, right? And they've already got a mechanic for that with the Leviathan axe.
Yeah.
This is exciting. I'm really, really hyped for this game. I'm just kind of bummed that they've said that this is the end of the Norse adventure.
Yeah.
Like, it's a duology instead of a trilogy. That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah, knowing that, you're probably right on the whole Thor killing Odin thing.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, if it wasn't that way, I would expect us to kill Thor like pretty close to the end of the game and then pick up Mjolnir and, like, I don't know, fight Freya or something, right? Use Mjolnir for something before because like, if we're going to use Mjolnir, we have to be able to use Mjolnir for most of the game. And so that's why I think end of the first act, Thor's going to die. Yep. We're going to pick up Mjolnir. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Do you think they're going to make any other big announcements tomorrow?
We might see more on Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
I'm like, honestly, like, I just don't know. Like, there hasn't been a whole lot of rumors. There haven't been, like, this one's just going to kind of be free fire for them.
Yeah, it seems like it came way out of the blue. I think that we'll probably get a release date for Legacy of Thieves collection on PC.
Oh, yeah. I forgot that was announced a while back.
Announced, but it's still not out. And, like, didn't Legacy of Thieves come out in, like, January? I figured they would have been closer together. Which,
yeah.
Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Uncharted. 4 and Lost Legacy are my least favorite ones. But I love Uncharted. And the opportunity to play those games on Steam Deck, that's going to be huge.
Oh, that's right. Your Steam Deck's coming in the next couple of days, isn't it?
So FedEx drove me insane because all day FedEx said it's coming today. It was scanned in Illinois at 6:15 this morning, and I was like, there is no way you're getting it to me today if it was scanned in Illinois at 6:15 this morning.
Yeah, logistically, they'd either have to ship it on a truck or fly it there, get it sorted, and then out on a truck.
Exactly.
There's no fucking way.
Like, it has to go into the hub, the Twin Cities hub, before it can head out to me. And, like, there's no way they're getting it from Illinois to the Twin Cities hub, sorted through the Twin Cities hub on a truck and out to me by end of day today. So it said today, I did not believe it. And I'm glad that I didn't, because I didn't get all hyped. And it said all day today, it said it's arriving by end of day. And then we started the podcast, and I just quietly checked on it. And now our arrival date is pending. So, I'm betting
sorry. I shouldn't laugh.
It's good, because you know what? It's like, I don't know. It like my micro SD card doesn't arrive until tomorrow. Tomorrow is fine. Wednesday is fine, honestly, because originally it was scheduled to arrive on Wednesday. So tomorrow, Wednesday, will be deck day. And I was super busy today anyway. I'm just trying to comfort myself here, Tim. Okay.
I could tell. The copium is strong with this one.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, so no, it'll be fun to play those games again on deck. And that will be a very impressive experience for sure. Okay, so I think that's all we've got. We're going to wrap it up a little bit early, just because that's just predictions, and then we're going to be back tomorrow with reactions.
Breakdown. Yeah.
We will be back tomorrow to talk about how brokenhearted I am that once again Twilight Princess and Wind Waker will remain on the Wii U.
Or we're going to have noisemakers and streamers, and it's going to be one hell of a celebration.
Not like this. Don't give me hope.
I'm going to give you all the hope so that I can see it dashed. More fun in my eyes.
Bye. We're just playing the outro music because I had to shuffle you off stage, like the Oscars, because you were being an asshole.
That's what I do.
Oh my god. I mean, if they don't do it, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, it's going to be rough.
But also, like, and I don't know, I think I just love the HD versions of those games, because I can play those games handheld on the Odin right now.